Opening day of the season, a full house at Ibrox. It's an opportunity to acknowledge the would-be stars of the future as they parade their league and cup trophies. As part of their build-up to the season ahead, they accepted an invitation to the Adelaide Cup, an international club tournament where they test themselves against top drawer opposition.
When we had contact with Australia and they said, oh, Juventus is coming, Vasco da Gama is coming, and Bayern Munich and Ajax is coming, then we said, okay, we must be there, but we will have to prepare very thoroughly. We go there, we take it as a very, very serious tournament.
The senior members of the squad, away on duty with Scotland, were to travel separately, but they miscalculated the time difference down under.
The Monday morning we were flying out, so I think a couple of days were, like me, Chris and Graham were out with our pals Saturday, or seeing their girlfriend or whatever.
It was my dad that phoned me and told me that he looked at the tickets just to check, and it was like Sunday morning instead of Monday morning, and I had to phone Tommy, then I had to phone Andrew, then I had to phone Buzz and sort it all out again, but we eventually got there, didn't we?
Where was Buzz when you phoned him?
The bingo. He was at the bingo. He got some stick off the lads.
He says it was a casino bank, it was the bingo of his car.
Welcome to Adelaide's Hindmarsh Stadium. It's Juventus versus Glasgow Rangers.
One of the players, I'll not mention him, but they'd asked what group they were in, and the first name I'd said was Juventus. And the look in the guy's face was, Juventus? And I had to stop and say, well, there's no point in going out there if you're thinking, Juventus. I'm hoping Juventus players are saying, Rangers.
The moment the first ball was kicked, I thought the team was realizing what their own quality was. And they could see that none of the teams were unbeatable.
First game up against their most difficult opponents. Rangers opened the scoring from an unlikely source.
When you go,
the boys couldn't believe it. It was my big head that got on the end of our cross after about 5-10 minutes. So that was a good start for myself and the team, but then,
just hat off them.
There are no more goals after the Juventus equaliser early in the second half. The match goes to penalties. It was time for the members of the squad to step into the limelight.
There was two 16-year-old boys. It was the first trip, and they were going up just taking scoring penalties, no problem, as if they were at their back garden. And I don't know where they get the confidence to do that.
Ross McCormack and Bob Davidson, their first trip, and they were amazing.
Seen me come in pre-season. We played one game out here against Wigan. We done well in that game, so John Brown just thought, well, we'll take a few like youngsters, three youngsters, and
the ones that had just come in.
Us two were fortunate to go. I went there not expecting to play at all.
I've never seen a young boy of 50-year-old going that far away, a high standard tournament, and when you ask for who will take a penalty.
I'd just come on as a sub, and John Brown was asking who's going to take them, so I just put my hand up, said I'll go first.
McCormack, 1-0 Rangers.
Me, Chris and Graham were the three Orange players, and when I was going up to take my penalty, I was really nervous.
Howie, he's missed.
We were just in the park maybe 5-10 minutes, and they were slotting away penalties as if they've been doing it for years.
Davidson scores.
Because the goalkeeper was just being an idiot during the full game, and
the goalkeeper was trying to help Barthez, he has no penalty.
They thought it was something, so I just told him that I was just going to put it down the middle. I just put it to the other side of him, and he just stood in the middle. That was good. Then I went up to him after and I said, unlucky. You know, just a bit of banter, that's all.
Seat and getting over. It's easier to go there.
Having stepped up to the under-15s, goalkeeping prospect Callum Reedford is put through an intensive training session by specialist coach Billy Thompson.
Yes, and go again. Getting tired, but keep it going. Go on. One more time. Superb. Yep, keep it going. Keep it going. And rest. Well done. Have a wee stretch. This routine, I do that with Stefan Kloss and Alan McGregor and Graham Smith. And I think it's good to do that sort of thing at a young age, because it gets your feet coordination, ball coordination as well, hands, everything. It's great, but only if they're comfortable with it, because it is quite a rigorous routine. Now, yep, here we go. Come on, go on, and now we go, now we go. You've got to be very, very careful, because obviously young kids are still growing up, but you can tell. I'm a great believer in, if Stefan can do it, then Callum can do it, or Graham can do it, or William. You know? Yeah. Have a wee stretch.
Callum's on the fast track. He'll be blooded keeping goal in selected games for the 18s. He's a cert to be offered a pro deal. But what chance a contract for his teammates?
The 15s, they have some special players, very talented. They are strong enough to play in the future for this club. And although I think a lot of other clubs sniff around them and are willing to sign them, they must realise that there is a place at Rangers for them.
Main provider of ammunition for the front two, Scott Agnew's in the frame.
This is the most important year for them, but I tell them that every year. But this year is the year that they decide whether they're willing to give them a contract. Obviously Rangers or whoever it may be, but hopefully it'll be Rangers.
Play well this year, get myself a contract and keep getting better, hopefully.
I think this year he just sort of grew up though. I think just since the tournament in Holland in May, he's just realised, I think, what really was expected, what he had to do. And now he does, he knows what he's got to do, the standard he's got to get to prove to everybody that he can do it.
Scott's parents want him to be offered a deal. They won't be getting overexcited though. He's not the first Agnew to be quoted as the next big thing.
Stephen, he's been through it all before with Dundee United, so he kind of helps me out. I just go and ask him stuff and he tells me.
We've had this experience before with Stephen, my older son, who was 15, went to Dundee United in a 3-year contract. He was also capped for Scotland, 16, 17, 18-year-old, then got homesick, just wanted home.
I remember Jim McLean saying, is he a mummy's boy? And I'm saying, well, no, I don't think so, you know, this is what he wants to do. And when he used to phone home, he was miserable. What we know now, if he had stayed local at 16 and a half and not gone away from home, he might have matured at 19.
So he left Dundee United, we had a year at Ayr United, and then he went to Glenafton, where he's really happy now, and he's at a level where I think that he's good, he's very good. So, and he's loving it. I think Scott has got the ability to get a contract, he's got the right attitude, and he works hard as well. And I think if you put the three of them together, he's got a good chance of getting a contract. I mean, he's not made it yet, not by a long shot. And we keep hammering that into him and telling him, no, it's still, you're just starting now. So hopefully that'll stick, keep his feet in the ground.
He's with his Ayrshire-based Rangers buddies watching their performance in the previous night's Scotland International.
What
a dive.
Like my ball. My ball. It's real, apparently.
Yeah, great man.
Says you're playing mind games with a keeper. He's dangerous, going to school.
Who's unlocking to get to them?
Celebration's a joke. That is its quality. First class, isn't it? Celebration.
It's normal for their age group. They are building their own personality, and the moment they can be different from the rest, they will always take that chance to be a wee bit different, whether it's clothes or hair or whatever. And if it's a performance on the pitch, then even more. And it's up to the coaches to guide that in a certain direction and make a team performance from it.
In Adelaide, the 18s are all fired up for the semi-final versus Newcastle. Goal machine Andy Dowie was again first on the score sheet. Young gun Ross McCormack continued to impress.
I think Ross McCormack ended up our top goal scorer, didn't he? He scored 4 or 5 goals.
After a high-quality 3-3 draw, Newcastle's equaliser coming too late for Jan Dirks, Ross McCormack steps up first again with a nice cold finish. 4 more kicks like that and they're in the final. Squeaky pants time, as Sir Alex would say.
They were amazing, you know, they really were. Especially Bob Davis scored an important goal in the final for us, and what a goal it was, That made it 2-1 to us, put us ahead in the final.
Yet another draw, and after golden goal extra time, yet another penalty shootout. Saved! It's goalie Graham Buzz Smith's turn to be the hero. He stands firm with the saves which win Rangers under-18s the Adelaide Cup.
He's done it again. Rangers win the cup.
That tournament there, us winning it, topped off our season all in. You know, it was kind of like a treble. And you know, it was
and that was the last time me, Chris and Graham were going to be playing with that team because we're too old now. So that was great as well.
It was just a good team spirit, you know, we gelled really well. You know, we just had a good laugh with each other until we got on the pitch, we did our job, and it was just a fantastic tournament.
We've learned a lot about the boys. And a tournament like this, maybe it's 3 weeks, but you will gain in progress at least half a year, 8-9 months, because you see the players 24 hours a day. You as an ex-professional could exactly tell them, this is your job, this is your 24 hours a day job.
But togetherness too, you know, I've been involved with groups that after a few days you're sick of the sight of certain ones. But we had a group that for 3 weeks they were all together, probably just sick of the sight of the staff. But as a team they stuck together.
Chrissy Craig provides a vivid reminder of traditional footballing skills. His style and hair highlights bring to mind a Rangers hero of recent times.
Everybody knows Christopher is a wee boy with a ball, you know what I mean? Like, I would say it's actually Christopher's life. Like, totally morning, noon and night is football, like constant. Just loves football.
I practice all the time. Keep it up here. My most is 3,500, and it took me 45 minutes.
He is special. He's a real street football player. Does everything what's possible on the pitch, and sometimes he does the impossible thing, and that's what we like, because modern football lacks street footballers, the Zidanes and the ball glued on their feet. He's one of them.
But away from the football field, Chrissy has been living through traumatic times, a family tragedy causing him to miss his first year at secondary school.
Yeah, see, Chrissy is special as a player, but also as a boy. Has gone through a very, very difficult time at home, and we all know it at the club, but we still back him all the time.
It was actually last year Christopher was to start Hull Head High, and my 16-year-old son, he died in July the 26th, so which meant that obviously, you know, it was unexpected and the whole family were totally devastated. we got a chap at the door, and it was a neighbour to say Archie was lying down at the flats. And when we went down, obviously the paramedics were there and I was there, but unaware to me, Christopher was watching as well. So I'm actually tormented with it, so Christopher must be too, you know. It was only when we went to counselling that I did realise Christopher seen everything I seen. This is a room that Christopher and Archie both shared together. He'll come into the room during the day, but he won't sleep in the room. Nobody sleeps in the room. He would move his mattress for his bed and he'll go into my daughter's room. It was like their wee room and their wee place where we sort of done their wee things or whatever, had their fights and their moments and football talk and everything like that, you know. So it's quite hard for Christopher.
All the coaches know who Chrissy Craig is and how he behaves. And he's always very positive, always positive. He loves the game and he wants to play every single minute, ill or sick or whatever, he always wants to play. But sometimes the coach can oversee the whole picture and say it would be better for Chrissy not to play the full 90 minutes. But that message, you have to bring it in a very, very special way, because just saying off, change, then you have a problem. You have a problem as a coach, but Chrissy has a big problem.
How many people won their individual battles like I asked you to do? Not many. See tonight, have a wee look at yourself in the mirror. Was that Ranger standard that was out there today? If you can say, yes, that's the best I could have done under...
I hate getting subbed. Sometimes I greet and go moody, and I can go hysterical.
Never mind.
About 5 minutes to go and Billy, one of the coaches shouted, "Chris, you know, come off," you know, and he sort of gave a smile to the crowd and walked in. As I got nearer the end of the pitch, he ran, and Billy was holding a jacket for him to put on. He flung the jacket in there and he booted the wood, and he was like devastated, and he stormed away in a corner, and you know what I mean, like. And then after it, like, you know, he was in tears, and like, you know, they says to him, "Look, Christopher, like, we took you off because you played really well," and he says, "No, when you sub you, it means that you're rotten."
I always want to win everything I do.
Such as?
Running, football, tennis, rugby.
He loves the game and he wants to be part of it every single second. And not being in it makes him not angry, but maybe it's the emotion, the showing of disappointment. And so sometimes he's a 30-year-old in his passport, but sometimes he's only 11, and but he will catch up. And as long as we know how he is and who he is, we'll handle that. And he's still special. He is special.
We actually used to call him Bubbles. Used to say his Bubbles, you know, so we sort of say, we actually will be saying Bubbles at it again, and you know what I mean. We're all proud of him. I think he's achieved a lot, like, for what he's came through in the last year, and I think it's good, you know. And I hope it continues, you know. Like, I'm proud of him.
Rangers' first team have a huge squad away in the Czech Republic, so tonight's fixture is an opportunity for more youngsters than usual to showcase themselves at 21s level.
Told you, you've been spoke about it through the week. If you don't motivate yourself, if you don't get yourself prepared properly, you won't perform properly. Now that is it, that's the fact. However you want to do it, however you're going to manage to do that, you make sure you do it.
For Peter Leven, having missed the whole of last season with a career-threatening knee injury, tonight's a big milestone on his comeback trail.
He'll punish you. You must get up against your man.
You need to push yourself more, and if you want to get in that midfield area in the end of the day, I've told you what you need to show me even more than that, so that's important for you, Peter.
Now in his 8th outing for the 21s, Peter and his teammates are up against it tonight. This Hibs squad has players with plenty of experience in the SPL. But when Peter goes down awkwardly early on in the game, his match is effectively over. He struggles on, but has to come off after less than a quarter of an hour on the pitch. To rub salt in the wound, the Rangers defence are posted missing as Hibs take the lead. A brilliant free kick to equalise. Then Tom Brighton smashes home the second for a 2-1 lead at half-time.
We want to see that final pass. Just too many times it's not quite there. But what we've done for the last 20 minutes of that half in terms of stopping them was better than it was for the first 20 minutes. Chris, Fraser eventually got control of it a bit more at the back. At first, one stepping out, another one stepping back. As soon as you do that, you give yourselves a problem. You understand that? Right, and I can see you're shouting to him what you do and what you thinking about. Well, yous have to control it. Your full-backs don't control that, yous two control that. Whatever one. You want to take command, you take command. The big guy at corner's not causing you any problems as such at this moment in time. You've got him in your pocket, but you have to go for another 45 minutes. But otherwise, competition all over the park, we're doing well. And when we get it, I'm saying it early on, just pass it, just make a few passes. What are you saying about the penalty?
It was a penalty.
It was a penalty. It looked a penalty for me as well, but these are the things, that's what the referees do in the game anyway. But you have done so well, that's the thing. You have done so well to get your noses in front and be in this position. Now don't blow it. Don't go out in the second half and drop your standards. If you go out and you achieve something for this game, with the more experience they've got, then you deserve a bit of credit from it. Come on, it's there for you to achieve. You get 45 minutes hard work, concentrating all the time, and make sure you come in with the result in the end of the day. If you don't do that, that's a waste. 45 minutes is a waste for you. Right then, we all sure yet? Yep. Come on guys, let's make sure we come in happy at the end of this. 45.
Just 2 days after their international exploits, the 15s are back on league duty against Dundee United. Their coaches watched the Scotland game on TV, but decisions on contracts will be made on consistency of performance and not for brilliant one-off displays.
15s this season is like the French Alps, up and down. Sometimes their performance is excellent and they score 5-6 goals and one more beautiful than the other. And then next week they get beaten 5-1 or 5-0. It's a difficult team to coach. They play some excellent football, but I think they cannot deal and cope with disappointment in the game. And I think it is an important thing they have to learn. Although a lot of players in their team are leaving school at the end of the season, so maybe, I don't say it's for sure, but maybe their mind is a wee bit like a carousel. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go because the offers will come in from a lot of clubs.
Sized up regularly by English clubs, these lads will likely win their Rangers contract sooner rather than later. But not all of them.
We cannot sign 11 players. You need a team to produce 2 or 3 or 4 players. But we have also players in the team, maybe they are not as skillful, but work very hard. And they must know that one of the basic characteristics of a professional is a very, very good, let's say, approach to the game. Work hard, never let your team down, and they will have a chance as well. Maybe they are not good enough for Rangers, but they can play for other clubs in Scotland and have a career in professional football.
Our boys tired. We conceded ground early on in the second half. We started not getting our defenders out up to the halfway line, which meant our midfield was detached from the strikers, and it meant they got a lot more possession of the ball in the second half. The longer you give the ball away and you continue to have to defend, the more chance you have that something will happen and they'll get a chance. Over the piece, I was delighted with the majority of the younger ones. I thought Chris McLeod was outstanding against Gary O'Connor. Basically had him for 99% of the game. Unfortunately, Gary O'Connor's the one that turns up in the end and scores the winning goal. The results don't really matter. It's easy for me to say that. I mean, I'm sick and they're sick as well. And we want to win, and we want to win league championships and everything else. But I've said it before, and it really is true. You know, it's more about the development and how these younger players are getting the chance to play against older and more experienced players, and that happened tonight. And I'm sure a few of them have learned something from it. I'll give them praise at the end, you know, and we'll do that. We always do that. John Brown, myself, you know, we can be tough when we have to be tough, but we give the praise out when they deserve it. Peters, unfortunately, it just happens to be when the cameras come along to see him too. He's been coming along fine. We've been taking it easy with him. Tonight, he's just turned and felt just a sharp pain down the outside of his knee.
Yeah, thought of the worst, but as I get back up I could maybe run it off a wee bit, try to play on, but I couldn't, so I just came off, precaution.
We hope it's not going to be long term. We hope obviously it's just a little setback for him, but the doctors and the medical staff will decide that tomorrow in the next 40 hours.
I'm confident since the real start, but this week's minor setback will probably put me down a bit, but I'll just make myself back up.
Just last week I started saying to him, right, the honeymoon period's over now, you know, you're back, you've played a number of games, you had no reaction from it in the games that we've had. I'm no longer going to be happy with you just getting through games. I want to see you pushing yourself and being outstanding in the games. And we spoke about that all week, and well, there you go. Just again, as I say, football for you, unfortunately, doesn't last very long tonight.
Yeah, we Stevie. The wee left back.
You went back, yeah, what's up, man?
Go! Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom, do it!
The manager gets the lowdown on the 21s.
Cam, what is that? If we do that, we're better than them in there.
Released by Rangers.